Mr. Speaker, Malik was diagnosed with Hurler's disease syndrome 15 months ago, at 15 months old, a rare and life-threatening metabolic disorder. He had a curved spine and he couldn't walk. After receiving an umbilical cord blood transplant facilitated through the Carolina Blood Bank, Malik is running around and is expected to have a normal lifespan. His mother, Crystal, said, "My son is extremely happy now. He's energetic, more independent. The transplant saved his life." In like manner, bone marrow donations provide life-saving transplants for a myriad of diseases. Clara was only 4 months old when she was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia. John had registered with the National Marrow Donor Program, Be the Match, as a bone marrow donor when Clara was only 17 days old. Turned out it was a perfect match for Clara. John's donation saved Clara's life. She is now thriving at 2 years of age. Mr. Speaker, not only has God in his wisdom and goodness created a placenta and an umbilical cord to nurture and protect the precious life of an unborn child, but now we find he has left a great gift behind immediately after birth. Something very special is left behind: cord blood that is teeming with life-saving stem cells. Breathtaking scientific breakthroughs have turned medical waste, post-birth placentas, and umbilical cord blood into medical miracles, treating more than 80 diseases, including leukemia, lymphoma, and sickle cell anemia. As a matter of fact, Dr. Joanne Kurtzberg of Duke University and president of the Cord Blood Association told Chairman Pitt's subcommittee on June 25th that sickle cell anemia can be cured with cord blood transplantation, and that it has become one of the most optimal donor sources for patients with sickle cell disease. H.R. 2820, under consideration by the House today, reauthorizes through 2020 the Stem Cell Therapeutic and Research Act of 2005, a law I sponsored a decade ago, joined by Arthur Davis of Alabama, legislation that cleared the Senate with the incomparable help of Senator Orrin Hatch. That law built upon the excellent work of our distinguished late colleague Bill Young of Florida to facilitate bone marrow transplants and created a brand new national umbilical cord blood donation and transplantation program. Special thanks, Mr. Speaker, to both Chairman Upton and Pitts for their outstanding leadership in helping this bill, as well as the strong support by ranking members Pallone and my good friend and colleague, Mr. Green. I'm deeply grateful to our original sponsors, Mrs. Masui, Mr. Jolly, and Mr. Fatah, for their contributions, and special thanks to Adriana Simonelli, Katie Novaria, and Megan McCrum. Today, Mr. Speaker, under the National Cord Blood Inventory Program, contracts are awarded to cord blood banks to collect cord blood units donated after their mothers give birth. These units are then made available through the C.W. Bill Young Cell Transplantation Program, also called the Be the Match Registry. The program provides a single point of access, enabling those in need of life-saving transplants to search for a match via an integrated nationwide network of bone marrow and cord blood stem cells. Americans willing to volunteer are at the heart of the success of this program. In reauthorizing it, we are grateful for the adult donors willing to donate bone marrow or peripheral blood stem cells, as well as mothers who donate their baby's cord blood to public cord blood banks. There are 13 public banks contracted through the NCBI, including New Jersey Cord Blood Bank in my home state, which collects cord blood from 5 participating hospitals. Mr. Speaker, it ought to be noted as well that in addition to treating more than 80 diseases, cord blood units from the NCBI banks are also available for research on future therapies. Indeed, Dr. Kurtzberg pointed out that in addition to the use of patients with malignant and genetic diseases, cord blood is showing enormous potential for use in cellular therapies and other regenerative medicine. Cord blood-derived vaccines against viruses and certain types of cancers are currently under development and in early phases of clinical trials. Cells manufactured from cord blood units are being developed to boost recovery of the immune system. Cells regulating autoimmunity are also in clinical trials. These approaches, often utilize cord blood banked by family banks, may help patients with type 1 diabetes as well as other diseases. She testified just a few months ago. She also pointed out over the last 6 years, we have initiated trials of the patient's own cord blood in babies with birth asphyxia, cerebral palsy, hearing loss, and she is doing some incredible work on an issue that I have worked on for over 20 years, and that is the issue and the disability known as autism. Dr. Kurtzberg finally said, we've learned that when a donor cell is infused into one's body, they go to the brain and help heal the brain. When a child has a brain injury around birth, we can use their own cord blood cells to correct the damage that occurred. Dr. Jeffrey Schell of the Be the Match, he's the CEO for it, noted that for many diseases, including blood cancers and sickle cell disease, cellular therapy is the best hope for a cure. Last year, I visited, Mr. Speaker, Celgene Corporation of Summit, New Jersey, to learn of their extraordinary efforts to use cord blood to heal diabetic foot ulcers. And they now have turned amniotic membrane and old placenta into wound management that is now advanced. It's on the market past stage 3 clinical trials. H.R. 2830 authorizes $265 million over 5 years and will ensure that thousands of present-day and future
yield another
patients.
30 seconds.
I appreciate my friend for yielding.
Gentleman is recognized for 30 seconds.
That thousands of present-day and future patients benefit from this exciting field of regenerative medicine. We have only just begun. This legislation furthers that work, and I thank my colleagues for this bipartisan support.
The gentleman from Kentucky is recognized.
I reserve.
The gentleman from Kentucky reserves. The gentleman from Texas is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, we have no other speakers, and I'd be glad to yield back my time.
The gentleman from Kentucky is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll close with a quick story. There's a good friend of mine. His name's Philip Chardine, and